It's got 2 wires going to it.
And a fuse.
It kind of looks like something like it's got a red section back here, like it's a push button or something like. But all it is, it's a low ambient thermostat. So if it's cold outside, we're not going to run the compressors. So we're going to safeguard the compressors. So low temperatures like today, we won't allow the compressors to run, and that's my low ambient thermostat. Next, what's this item right here?
Transformer.
Transformer. What's the voltage on the transformer?
24.
Okay, so I agree the secondary is 24. What's the primary?
230, is that what it says there?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on now. You're making my life
It
difficult.
says 160, 230, 200.
There's 3 different voltages there.
Well, hang on a second now. Son of a bitch, what the hell are they talking about here? Because I'm looking here and they say 460 volts, 230 volts, or 208 volts, or 200 volts. That is weird. 460. Have you guys ever heard of 460 volts before? You know why? Because you live in Canada. If you lived in the US, you would know all about 460. What did I tell you we have in the large or the medium commercial buildings?
208.
3-phase 208, right? I told you the high commercial or the bigger commercial buildings will be 3-phase 600. In the US, they said, okay, on the medium commercial buildings, we're going to have 3-phase 230, not 208. And in the bigger commercial in the US, 3-phase 460. So in the US, they use 460 volts, where we use 600. They use 230, where we use the 208. So that's why they got the different voltage ratings on there. And what's this transformer for? What's it doing?
Which one? Which one? Big one.
So I'm looking here, I've got H1, H2. H1 and H2 is what?
Only 2 lines, but.
That's my high voltage side coming in. And my high voltage side, primary volt, 600. So right away I know this is a 600 volt motor. It's 0.750 kVA, so that means it's 750 VA. Over here, I got some extra wires. So on the secondary side, depending how I hook it up, I can get 120 or 240. So what they're doing here is they're taking the 600 volts in, and they're going to come out with 120 or 240. And what are they going to use that 120 or 240 for? The inducer motors. Okay, they're going to be 120 or 240. They power this transformer over here. Well, when I said the inducer motors are going to be 120 or 240, on commercial they're going to be 240. Okay, so over here, this item here, I need input voltage for here. I don't want to put 600 in here. So I'm going to put in the 240 over to this one. So 240 comes into here, 240 goes to the inducer motors. Fair enough? Is there anything in here we haven't covered? Okay, now who likes complicated wiring? I cut all the extra wire off here because it's just like a trip hazard. There's so much wire coming out of there. So does this look anything like a blue furnace when you guys did the fan center? Nah, probably a little more complicated, eh?
Yeah, it seems like a few more wires.
Yeah, there might be a few extra wires here. So let's look at this part right here. How many wires are coming out of here? You want to count them?
5.
2, 4, there's 5 wires there?
Yeah.
Okay. Over here, how many wires are right here?
2, 3, 4, 6.
6. How many wires are right here?
4, 5, 6, 8.
8. How many right here?
4.
4. How many right here?
Probably 4 or 6.
I don't know, maybe 10 here. So
2 blacks.
there's like 40 wires coming out of the control panel. Oh yeah, don't forget these two. So now there's 43 wires.
The blue wires. And like,
Is this complicated? No. No, it's not. It's seriously basic. This is every time you look at a commercial rooftop unit, this is what it looks like. I'm being totally honest.
nice.
So it's really important that you guys understand all the components, how they work, how they interact. So I've mentioned a fair bit about it.
Yes.
You are now a lot smarter than you were 20 minutes ago.
I don't know about that.
Now,
So this is basically your furnace, air conditioner, and air handler, all in one.
what are these items? Dave, yesterday we had the little extra switch that was loose sitting in here.
Okay.
Is that still available? I want to show. It might be on the front counter there. What are these two items?
Ignition control?
They're ignition controllers, good. Okay, can you step forward, please? These ignition controllers, tell me everything you can about them. And here's what I want you to tell me. First off, it was just a single...
Is it here?
No, it's just a single individual component. It was the limit switch. Okay. This rooftop unit, does it have an inducer?
Yes.
Good. So we know it's got an inducer. Does it have a gas valve?
No. Yes.
Yes, it does. How many gas valves does it have?
Two.
Two. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this is the following. Your ability to look at what's here and know what the system is important. You saw two ignition controllers, so you know you got two gas valves. Each ignition controller is controlling one gas valve. I could have a single ignition controller and a two-stage gas valve. Here I've got two individual gas valves. You looking at it, you pick that up. You say, hey, two ignition controllers, that means I got two gas valves. I've got two inducer motors. Next, those gas valves, what can you tell me about them? I'm looking for one or two specific words. And you'll get that information when you look at the ignition controller.
Okay. It's 24 volts.
Okay, that's good. 24 volt gas valves. Next.
Pilot?
Sorry?
Pilot?
You said pilot. Why'd you say pilot?
Because it says
Because it's private
PV.
valve here.
Perfect. So it says PV, pilot valve. So now you know you got a pilot valve. It's 24 volts. What other valve we have?
Main valve?
Main valve. So now you know we're going to light a pilot and then we're going to energize the main. That's important to know because if you remember some of the ignition controllers I showed you guys the other day, we can just light up the main burner and not have a pilot. So now you know you got to watch for the pilot to light up. Is this spark or HSI ignition?
Spark.
Correct, it's spark. When you see this type of thing, it's generally going to be a spark. Is it integral? Is this ignition controller integral?
No.
No.
So you have a separate spark and a separate sense.
Right? You miss it?
Beautiful. So you picked up on a fair bit. Now I'm seeing my thermostat, 24 volt thermostat. I'm seeing main valve, pilot valve. I'm seeing my sensor. I don't have a ground here, do I? Why? Because the ground is the metal backing. So this one, the metal backing, that's my ground.
Yeah.
That means the sheet metal is the ground on my 24 volt side. What's another way you know that the sheet metal is the ground on the 24 volt side? Look at the transformer. I got one wire off the transformer going right to ground. So I now know that the 24 volt side is grounded. See? And this is part of the equation where you look at other parts that you've seen and apply them to what we've seen here. You guys did contactors last year when you did the fan centers, correct? You put a little contactor on top of the blue furnace to indicate this item. It could have been a single pole or a two pole, depending on which one you had. We've now expanded it to a 3-pole contactor. You know, just looking at the system here, you know, these are the compressors. This is the indoor motor. And I do this all the time. I'll look at a unit, I'll say, hey, 2-stage, 5-ton unit or 10-ton unit. I know these two are for the compressors, the smaller one's the indoor motor. I'll look at these, I know what they're doing. They're gonna be running the fan operation in the heat mode. I'll look at this item, it's sensing the temperature right here, the sheet metal. The only reason I want to sense the sheet metal temperature is so I can have a low ambient thermostat. Shut off the compressors if it's too cold. As soon as you see a wire go through something like this, you know I'm sensing the current. As soon as you see the transformers, you know what's going on. As soon as you see small wire going into a big unit, you know it's 600 volts. You see 2 ignition controllers, you know you got 2 gas valves. You see W1, W2, you got 2 stages of heat. Y1, Y2, 2 stages of cooling. See how easy it is to pick up so much information by what you know. Let's think back 6 months ago or a year ago, when you guys just finished your G3. Could you have given me any of this information? No. Okay, so you're now more knowledgeable than you were before. I've got a limited amount of time to push stuff into your brain. Okay, and I'm gonna push in so much that your brain's gonna feel like it's gonna explode. But it won't. Apparently you guys have a really good sponge in there. It's really good. It can absorb more than just alcohol. Okay, so let's take advantage of it.
Sounds like SpongeBob.
Do you have any questions on anything we covered here?
Sorry, with this wiring. go
Okay,
through
here's the thing. And this area right here, I had some wires coming up. These were fuses.
Okay.
So that would be my fuse.
Okay.
The
That's
small
it. I'm
wire
just
coming
curious as
from
to why
here,
it's
if you look here, that one's coming to the 24 volt side. The other wire here,
Yeah.
which is going this way, comes to this terminal. So everything coming from the transformer goes to the fuse over here. So that's gonna protect my transformer. What's the VA rating on the transformer?
VA rating?
VA.
75.
75. What do you think the fuse size was? Remember I told you about the VA ratings last week? Put VA in the top? Oh, actually, I didn't tell you about that, 'cause I haven't covered transformers yet. Okay, I'll ask that question in a few minutes. Okay, any questions then on what we got here? You guys are good, 100%.
I'll say 75 to 80.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get the wiring diagram for this. I'm gonna post it online. You guys can do a sequence of operation on it and identify all the components in the parts. Fair enough? I'll put a picture of the gas or the ignition controller online. You can give me a sequence of operation on that.
This isn't integral, right?
Okay? And I just
No.
wanna see if I can find
Where's the
that
separate one for the
first.
spark?